Bilingual professionals earn up to 20% more than their monolingual peers. But here's what no one tells you. Where you study can completely change whether that degree opens doors or just collects dust. How do I know? Because I've lived it. When I decided to study Spanish at Tufts, I chose the school partly because it was close to my hometown of Wellesley. I didn't have a clear plan. I had no idea I'd end up building my career in translation. But what I did realize, and this changed everything, was that learning another language would open doors I didn't even know existed. That was over 20 years ago. Today, we run a translation company working with some of the largest law firms in the country, managing hundreds of translators across more than 30 languages. It all started with a decision I made when I wasn't sure where it would lead. And that decision matters more than most people realize. AI translation is improving fast, but when accuracy truly matters in a courtroom or a hospital, employers still trust professionals who understand nuance, culture, and context. We evaluated dozens of programs based on career outcomes, language diversity, and what actually happens to graduates, not what the brochures say. Here are the 10 that actually deliver. Starting at number 10, the University of Wisconsin-Madison. This might not be one of the first schools that comes to mind for languages, but it should be. Wisconsin-Madison is a national leader in advanced language proficiency, especially for languages critical to national security and global commerce. They're one of the select schools that participates in the U.S. Department of Defense's language flagship program. That means students can achieve superior level proficiency with direct career pathways into government, defense, and international business. The architect behind Falling Water and the Guggenheim, Frank Lloyd Wright, studied here. Number 9 goes to a school that takes an integrated approach most universities don't. Here, language learning isn't isolated. It's tightly connected to global history, politics, and cultural studies. The programs are designed to produce graduates who don't just speak a language, they understand its place in the world. That's a different skill entirely. If you're interested in policy, international relations, or the global humanities, this is your school. We're talking about Duke University. That global perspective has served Tim Cook well. He studied here before becoming CEO of Apple. If you want to combine language skills with a specific career path, medicine, law, business, for example, number 8 was built for you. The University of Pennsylvania takes a highly applied approach through their dedicated language center. Students can pursue professional tracks like medical Spanish, business Mandarin, or legal French. There are conversation groups, interdisciplinary coursework, and real-world language practice built into the program. Penn makes the connection between language and career explicit in a way most schools don't. That emphasis on real-world applications helped shape Noam Chomsky, one of the most influential linguists alive and a Penn alum. Now, if you're finding this useful, drop a comment below and tell us what language are you thinking about studying. We read them all. At number 7, Vanderbilt University stands out for something most schools can't offer: strategically important and less commonly taught languages. We're talking Cherokee, Quiché Maya, and Swahili. The university has produced notable leaders like Vice President Al Gore, and its language programs continue to emphasize advanced proficiency and cultural literacy, skills that matter in fields like public health, community development, and indigenous language preservation. If that's your path, Vanderbilt should be on your list. At number 6, Stanford University. Let's get straight to what matters here. Language study at Stanford is integrated with technology, science, and international innovation. If you want your language skills to directly support research, entrepreneurship, or a global tech career, Stanford connects those dots better than most. You might recognize a few names from their alumni. Documentary filmmaker Ken Burns and Supreme Court Justice Sandra Day O'Connor both studied here. Halfway through our list now, and this is where a lot of students get it wrong when choosing a program. They assume Ivy League automatically means best for languages. But Cornell proves that's not the whole story. This university takes an interdisciplinary approach that few schools can match. Language study here connects to international business, science, agriculture, and global development, not just humanities. The Asian language programs are especially respected, offering the kind of depth and continuity that supports both advanced academic work and professional careers. Cornell has produced Nobel laureates and Supreme Court justices. Toni Morrison and Ruth Bader Ginsburg are just 2 examples. At number 4, Harvard. You know the name. But here's what you might not know. Harvard offers instruction in over 80 languages. 80. Language study here is deeply embedded in the humanities and social sciences, backed by unmatched research resources. If you're pursuing advanced academic work, diplomatic careers, or leadership roles where language is a strategic asset, Harvard provides the foundation. Harvard's alumni include presidents and Nobel laureates, John F. Kennedy and Benazir Bhutto among them, many of whom have leveraged the university's language resources to build global careers. Now we're in the top 3. And the next school might surprise you. At number 3, a public university that outperforms most private institutions when it comes to language education. This school enrolls about 46,000 students and offers instruction in more than 40 languages. But what makes it special is something else entirely. Their heritage language programs and commitment to less commonly taught languages are among the best in the nation. And here's the real advantage: location. Being in Los Angeles means constant opportunities for community-based language practice, real immersion without leaving the country. The school's Center for World Language is also a leader in language pedagogy research. This is UCLA. You've probably heard of a few people who studied here. Jackie Chan and Francis Ford Coppola both walk these halls. At number 2, Columbia University, right in the heart of New York City. That location is the advantage no other university can replicate. New York is one of the most multilingual urban environments in the world. Columbia offers a wide range of commonly taught and lesser taught languages, including Yiddish, Zulu, and Tibetan. Language study here is often paired with international relations, journalism, law, and global studies, fields where language functions as a tool of influence and precision. If you want to combine serious language training with access to global institutions, media, and diplomacy, Columbia delivers. The university has produced presidents and renowned authors. Barack Obama and Jack Kerouac both studied here. Now, before we reveal the number 1 school, which by the way is unlike any other program on this list, 2 universities deserve special recognition. These are our honorable mentions, and honestly, depending on your goals, one of these might be the perfect fit for you. Georgetown University has built its reputation on preparing students for diplomacy and global affairs. Its location in Washington, D.C. gives direct access to embassies, international organizations, and government agencies. If your goal involves foreign service, intelligence, or international law, Georgetown belongs on your radar. That diplomatic foundation helped launch Bill Quillen's career. But if your path is less about diplomacy and more about research, teaching, or linguistics itself, there's another school you should know about. Indiana University Bloomington hosts one of the largest language programs in the country, with instruction in more than 70 languages. It's a powerhouse for linguistics and language pedagogy, making it ideal for teaching, research, or academic career. The legendary journalist and Today Show host Jane Pauley is an IU Bloomington graduate. Both are excellent choices depending on your goals. All right, the number 1 spot. And the top spot goes to a school that does something no other university in America does. This school is widely regarded as the premier institution for immersive language education in the United States. Here's what makes it different. Students commit to a strict immersion pledge. That means speaking only the target language inside and outside the classroom, not just in class, everywhere, all day. The result? Near native fluency, deep cultural competence, and communication skills that translate directly into careers. With only about 2,800 students, the community is tight, the focus is intense, and the outcome speaks for themselves. This is Middlebury College. It outranks Harvard, it outranks Stanford. It outranks every Ivy League on this list because when it comes to actually becoming fluent, immersion beats everything else. Middlebury has produced acclaimed writers and influential scholars who operate on the global stage. Author Julia Alvarez and political scientist Jeffrey Lewis are just 2 examples. So which school is right for you? Here's the quick breakdown. For translation, localization, and language services, look at Middlebury, Columbia, or Wisconsin-Madison. For law, diplomacy, and government, Columbia, Duke, and Georgetown are your best paths. For healthcare and professional language use, Penn and UCLA have the most applied programs. For international business and global careers, Cornell and Stanford offer the strongest connections. For research, academia, and linguistics, Harvard and Indiana University Bloomington lead the way. Here's the truth. A degree from any of these schools opens doors, but what you do with it determines everything. Graduates who pair their training with study abroad, internships, and professional language experience consistently outperform those who don't. Because real-world communication isn't about passing a test. It's about interpreting meaning, navigating culture, and performing when the stakes are high. We'll see you in the next one.